My name is Dr. Rodwin, and I'm a doctor of chiropractic, an acupuncturist, an active release technique provider, and I do adjust the cranial bones as well. What we're going to look at today is actually ankle sprains. I treat a lot of them, and I've done different types of treatments over the years, and I've actually perfected what I call the right ingredients to a recipe to be able to see it improve amazingly well, quickly, and you have less chronic problems in the future too. So when you sprain your ankle, this is a left foot. Normally what you do is you end up rolling it like this. So when you roll it, the first thing to occur is you actually pull a muscle up the side of your leg. The next thing that happens is these two ankle joints shift out of alignment as a result of the movement. And at the end of that is when you sprain it, because a sprain is actually to ligaments, and there's actually 3 ligaments that run from this bone over to these ones, and one over in this region as well where my right index finger is. And they get pulled. So they can get pulled that it's actually a little bit, so you could call it mild, moderate, or severe. A mild one is known as primary, so there's just a bit of pulling. If you think of an elastic band and you actually pulled it and played with it, if you were bored, and you kept pulling and pulling and pulling, you'd see little striations. So if you pulled it for a bit, that would be a primary. If you pulled it a bit more, that's a secondary, so that would be moderate. A tertiary is when you pull it and it almost pops off, so that's when you're really bored with the elastic band and you actually break it. So after that occurs, there's obviously pain, swelling, bruising, and you can't walk very well. As a result of that, you do get a lot of tightness in your calf and other areas as well. So I do recommend certain things to patients when they come in, both with what stretches to do. We do have a rehab sheet that we're going to actually attach to this video so you can actually read it too. But what I do for the adhesions that build up in these regions as a result of what you've done, I do the active release technique. And we really need to get the mobility back in these ankle joints, because now they're in the wrong alignment, and then when they are in the wrong alignment, you can't get this movement properly, and that will affect your knee later, your hip, and your low back. So I have seen patients years later after having an ankle sprain, because a lot of people don't rehab them properly, unfortunately. And what it's actually affected was their hip and lower back and their sacroiliac joint. And often when we look at stuff, I'm like, I think you've probably done something in the past. And they're like, yeah, I had an ankle sprain and I iced it for a day, but didn't do anything else for it. Take care of it properly. So the best things that I recommend with proper care, one of the best things to do once you've done it is there's this type of brace that we use. You can use a tensor bandage and wrap it on, but you can't always wrap it on with the right consistency, and you don't actually pull the ankle into the right position for it to heal. So we use these. I just love them for it, and they're good both for the sprain and then later get it back into activities. So there's different sizes. You pull this on, and as a result of it, the way it's made with the stitching mechanism, you put your foot through a hole and bring it on. It compresses it, keeps it compressed, and with the stitching mechanism, it actually pulls it back into the right alignment so that those ligaments can heal properly. So I get people to wear this 24 hours a day in a way, and you can see that on our rehab sheet with other things and stuff to do too for it. And then what you do is ice, ice, ice. Ice is your friend, as I would say, and you want to keep icing 20 minutes every hour. And you do that even after the pain goes away and the swelling, and that helps so much. We have different ice packs here, so a nice big one like this to wrap around the side is great. You cover it, or you can leave it uncovered if you like, but leave it on less time or you're going to get a nice burn, and then you just wrap it on with a tensor bandage really tight. And later when you're walking a little bit, you could even be standing in your kitchen with it on. Last thing I would like to talk about with ankle sprains is I've been in practice for over 25 years. I haven't done acupuncture for that whole time period. I've been doing it actually now for 21 years, and for my first 5 years in practice, I used an ultrasound unit when somebody sprained their ankle. So I do have one patient. It was actually quite interesting. She had sprained her ankle. It was a secondary sprain, so a moderate one, so she pulled the ligaments a bit, and I treated it pre-acupuncture with the ultrasound unit, had her wear the brace, did some active release, adjusted it, and it took over 6 weeks to get it back to full recovery, and she's a runner. So after I started doing acupuncture, she sprained the exact same ankle, the exact same sprain. She actually even said to me, I can't believe it's the exact same thing. Gone over on a rock while she was running. She had a half marathon the following weekend, and she's like, oh, I guess I won't be able to do it. She wore that brace consistently, iced it non-stop. And then what I ended up doing, because I saw her on a Monday, normally I see people twice a week initially with the acupuncture for it, but I said, well, come in 3 times. We'll do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. By Friday, she was pain-free. The swelling was almost gone. She was actually able to run that half marathon pain-free, and she finished it. And she couldn't believe the difference. So I don't use ultrasound anymore. I use acupuncture. I'm just going to show you what I do with the acupuncture. So acupuncture needles, if you've never had acupuncture before, the acupuncture needles, they're all pre-packaged and sterilized. We take them out of the packages. When you take them out, there's different lengths of them. And what I'm going to do right now is demonstrate with an ankle where I put some of them in, okay? So I am going to show you now the acupuncture, but prior to doing that, I do have some patients that actually are needle phobic, and they have sprained their ankles in the past. And what I do instead of the acupuncture is I use my little laser unit, and I would actually turn it on and then go on to the points where, so usually you sprain a ligament here, here, and here, and you would use it on those points to actually help heal it. And you can use it on all the different points and throughout the foot and up into the leg as well. So that's a different option with respect to acupuncture if you're not fond of it. But the acupuncture needles, they don't hurt very rarely, and they actually help. So a needle, we would actually put it in. And would you say that hurt, Carrie Lynn? Not at all. So with it, sometimes we call it a surround treatment. So if there's bruising, we can put it around the bruising too, and it would actually help it heal quicker. I can't believe the difference with what we call contusions sometimes. I've had people get contusions on their legs from falling, and we do a surround treatment around it, and within like a week or two, the bruise is gone and all the hard mass that actually forms inside it, which is just amazing. Would be the last one there, and then I end up actually, you have to do a surround around the ankle to help it. Acupuncture is based on the premise that what they say is your chi is off. So your life energy in this region, that's what Eastern medicine says. So when you sprained yourself, that's what happened. And we often don't, in Western medicine, we want to know the scientific basis behind it. So what we've done is we've actually studied it to find out that with acupuncture, what happens is when we put the needles in, so that would be all the needles, and you feel okay, Carolyn? Yeah. So when we put them all in, what happens is, with the studies they've done, is they've actually determined within your blood, your body sees these as a thread, and it sends stuff within your bloodstream to actually promote a healing response. So it actually helps decrease the scar tissue that forms in the ligaments, It actually helps decrease pain, and I mentioned earlier on with the bruising, it helps accelerate the bruising process and the healing mechanism of it. And I just honestly can't believe how good acupuncture is for ankle sprains and a whole pile of other things such as headaches, migraines, sciatica. I mentioned contusions, so big bruises, knee problems, you name it. So depending on what a patient comes in with, I will do different types of treatment modalities. So if you do ever have any questions, if acupuncture will help you either for ankle sprains or anything else, my email address is attached to this video. Feel free to email me, even if you aren't in Ottawa, Ontario, and I could just send you a quick email saying, yes, that would help, you should give it a try. And I might be able to know somebody in the city or state or country that you're in. So thank you for listening today, and I hope if you have an ankle sprain, you heal it really well.